my name is Leilani, and in this video I am going to talk about learning without tears, specifically for the preschool age with their readiness and their pre-writing. I'm going to look at that curriculum as well as all the other things that go along with it. We're going to do a flip through. I'm going to give you kind of a beginner's guide to it because it is very overwhelming. They have a lot of information out there, a lot of stuff. I am a former public and private school teacher. I currently homeschool my 4 kids. My youngest does have Down syndrome and she is now 5 years old. She's going into kindergarten. So we've been using this program with her. I have also used it with my other kids as well. This kind of kick-started me on a journey to find out tools and things that I could do with my kids, specifically my youngest daughter, to help them develop really good, strong writing skills. And I actually have a video about that. I'll leave it in the description box below. So let's look at all this stuff. So the first thing I have is their Readiness in Writing Pre-K Teacher Guide. That's exactly this. You can use it as a solid curriculum, you can use it as an outline, or you could use it as a reference book, just however you want to do it. And let me just kind of give you a rundown, because this really just gives you a good idea of what's going on here. Pages are ripped out, so please forgive me, but they do have a nice little curriculum map for you, sample schedule for you. And they give you the page numbers, so you don't have to kind of fidget and see what kind of stuff you want to work on today. It's all right there. Now it's divided up into sections. So this one's going to be readiness. You have to prepare your child before they're ready to write, and that entails a lot of things like music, recognizing body awareness, teaching crayon grip. There's a crayon song. I'm going to talk about the music in a second. There's wood pieces. Using the wood pieces because the wood pieces actually will shape into letters. Now, Handwriting Learning Without Tears teaches there are 2 shapes when it comes to forming letters. There's lines and there's curves. When you do Learning Without Tears, you want to get their wood pieces. So these are the little curves. These are the big curves. These are the little lines and the big lines. And Learning Without Tears has the child playing with these, manipulating with these, even before they start forming letters. They want them to get used to them, feel the shape, just all the senses on these guys. And you need all your senses to, really do well with those pre-writing, writing skills. You use everything. Now, when you use this book, you want to keep in mind that this is actually written for a classroom environment. It is very adaptable to homeschool as well. So after you get past the readiness stage, you want to have your alphabet knowledge, right? That's learning the alphabet. The alphabet cards that I did get were these Animal on Parade ones. They're touch and flip alphabet cards. So there's the A. But on the back side of the A is the little A for the black ones. But when you get to the ones that are textured, because this is textured, you flip it over and it will actually start to make a train with alphabet animals. And there's an activity in the book that teaches you how to do this. If for whatever reason you just get these alphabet cards, there is an activity book in here that gives you some games that you can do and activities that you can do with these cards. This was well worth a purchase because I like the texture. I also like the fact that the shapes are appropriate. Sometimes when you get some books, you get with the letters, you'll get some fancy stuff going on that kids can't really copy. I'll show you an example. So this is a number book. It's a very good number book, but if you look at this, the number, has all the fancy stuff going on that the kid doesn't really need to be mimicking. They just need to know down. Same with like the letter 4. You don't need the fanciness. You just need the simpleness. And that's one thing about Learning Without Tears. It's very, very simple, straight to the point. You don't have to kind of bypass all the fluffiness because there is none. And really, sometimes kids at this age, that's all they need. They just need this, just simple. Sit, you're done. That's it. Learning Without Tears always directs you to start your letters at the top. So this is a slide, and a zip. Sometimes they will also have the smiley face. And that's why you have the smiley face is a thing. The smiley face is a thing because when you see the smiley face, you know that's the top. I also have the touch flip with counting cards because numbers are super important as well when it comes to pre-writing and recognition. They have Spanish instructions for some activities as well as English. And they have some pictures for the tutorial. I think honestly, maybe there's about 10 activities in these. You have colors and coloring. This is your pre-writing section, writing capital letters. And of course, if you're using their curriculum guidelines where you follow the days in order, it's gonna skip you through the book. And as you follow, you're gonna learn the setup of the book. So don't worry about too much learning the setup before you dive into it. Just dive into it. But I will say, when you are writing your letters, there's a couple of tools that you will need. This is my daughter's book. It is a My First School book. I'm gonna kind of show you a little bit of, here's the letter A. You're doing a slide. There's the alligator. And what you see up here is the actual wood pieces and how to construct them. You can get cards, and also I bought enough where I can do one and then she can copy mine. So here's these, just to kind of show you vertically, you know, letter D. There you go, something like that. Probably. Now I also have this mat that she can construct her letters on. Notice there's a smiley face at the top. We also use this with doing Matman. Now Matman is a Learning Without Tears thing. You build the head with these wood pieces, and then you have the ears and the body parts. Here's Matman. They actually will have the kid try to draw Matman, but there's Matman. You get little hands too. You get little hands too. Of course, as you go through the letters, you're gonna notice some kind of pattern. You got the wood pieces. You actually have Play-Doh. I'm gonna show you the Play-Doh in a second. You have the chalkboard, you have the stamper, and you kind of rotate through those little activities. The next section is gonna be numbers. Each number gets a little tiny booklet. Well, let me just kind of show you what it looks like. This is 6, and like I said, it's a line and some curves right there to make the number 6 very simple. And you go through and you review 1, 2, 3. All the numbers at the beginning you review. Of course, they give you something that you can do with your kid, a little activity. Here's some more reviews, 4, 5, 6. And then you practice the number 6. For the rest of the book, you're gonna be talking about 6. 6 eggs, 1 dragonfly, 6 legs, 6 insects, 6 grapes, 6 raisins, 6 cups and 6 caps, 1 pyramid, and 6 cups, and 6 snowflakes, even though they're all different. And then 6 ants and a little poem. Actually, it's a song, The Ants Go Marching, which is actually gonna be one of their songs on their CD. But all the books are gonna kind of look similar with the same pattern there. Learning Without Tears has a pattern to it, and they stick to that pattern, so the kids don't have to work so hard trying to figure out what's expected of them and what's next, or, you know, prediction. It's predictable. The beginning, you may be a little bit overwhelmed, but once you get used to it, you're like, okay, I got this. And then you get used to the book, and, you know. Of course, towards the end, after they get their capital letters and their numbers, they're gonna do the lowercase letters. And there is a separate book for the lowercase letters. Right there. Let me show you a little bit more with the lowercase. And of course, name is super, super important with Learning Without Tears. They emphasize singing your name, they emphasize writing your name in all sorts of different ways, whether it's on a whiteboard, whether it's just spelling it out with letter cards. Now, do you have to buy this book to be successful with Learning Without Tears? And I would say, no, you don't have to buy the book, but it's a good guidance, it's a good reference. If you just want to do the program in and of itself, I would suggest definitely getting the workbooks, all of them, as well as the numbers. And I would just kind of work your way through the uppercase, alternating with the numbers, starting at page 1, and just kind of walking your way through. Then after you're done with all the numbers and with all the letters that are uppercase, I would go to the lowercase ones. I would definitely look into getting these pieces right here somehow. I would also definitely look into getting a chalkboard. This is our favorite tool with Learning Without Tears. I did get a bunch of little chalk pieces, It's good because it helps them with texture, it helps them with pressure and control on the chalkboard to practice going down, slide up, you know, that kind of stuff. You could also get these little erasers. So the idea is that you do the letter, always starting from the top, do the letter, and then when you're done, you take a wet sponge, which I like to do blue because blue is kind of looks like water, and I wet the sponge, and then you have them trace over the letter that they just wrote in the same manner. Then you take the dry sponge, which is yellow like the sun, that's what I do, and then go over and dry up the wet spot. Now it doesn't work perfectly every time. I'll admit we struggled with that a little bit, so I just wipe it down and have them do the letter again. Definitely get the slates. I get two. So I have one that I write on and then one that she writes on. And I like these the best. I got these from Rainbow Resource. I did originally get mine from Learning Without Tears, but she threw it across the room and it chipped and it broke in several spots. And so far these have been doing really well. I'll stick a link down in the description box below as well. I would also highly consider getting these touch cards because there's some really fun activities that you can do with these. I would also recommend getting small handwriting utensils such as golf pencils, or you could get their flip crayons, which I love. You could buy them in a pack, or you could be crazy like me and just get a whole tub because I know we're gonna use a lot of them. I've already broken a few and it's just easier to have it in a big giant tub. And I love these because one side is blue, my hands are too big. One side is orange, and there's this idea with Learning Without Tears, small hands, small writing utensils. So they have the small chalk, they have the small crayons, and the small pencils, which I don't have any pencils right now because we do use these most of the time with our handwriting. This is another thing I would highly, highly recommend getting. And if you don't get this, I would suggest that you make some kind of cards, whether you take the handwriting book itself or even just write it out yourself on, you know, a piece of paper this big and then laminate it, or just, oh, you know what you could do? You could stick it in one of these plastic sheets because you're gonna use that with Play-Doh. So with these cards, they have numbers and they have letters. And you take the Play-Doh and you have them make a snake. Snake is so good for helping them with their pressure, and it helps them with their pinching and their pulling if they need to pinch. But if I'm forming a bee, you know, obviously this is too long, so I'm gonna pinch this off, and then I'm gonna work on making some more. And I'm gonna pinch that off. And this activity is a great way to warm up their hands. They can do it vertically, or they could do it on the table, or you could have them switch between both. I mean, just kind of play around with it. Be creative. Don't feel like you're married to exactly what the curriculum says, because the more creative you can be with pre-writing skills, the better they're gonna be at doing that writing. So here's my bee. I kind of rushed it. I'm sorry, it's not perfect, but you kind of get the idea, right? That's why, like I said, if you can get like this size, right? Stick it in one of these. Stick it in one of these things and then do the Play-Doh on top of it, or just getting those plastic sheets. Now this is also a fun little tool that you can use with Handwriting Without Tears. They're actually gonna ask for it in the book if you're following along, and it's a stamper. So like I said, you've got the curve, the big curve, and it's a magnet. And I want a line, a big line, and I've got the letter D, brought to you by the letter D. When they're done, you just erase. We also have this if they want to, you know, draw it out. But this is great for those kind of letters. There you go, S. There is a cool chart that it does come with that you can photocopy and you can place up somewhere where you can see it with all the letters and how you form it with the big line, little line. Another resource that I like are these tag bags right here. This is gonna be more for your counting. There's so many good things about these. It does come with a packet of activities, and this just kind of kickstarts your imagination. You can do a couple with them and just go with it. And even if your child just sits there and plays with the little like snappers, because it's got the snaps, okay? It's got the snaps and it's got the buckles. It has Velcro. It's got a button and it's got a little zipper. So inside each of these tag bags, when you open them up, they're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. The primary colors are numbered 1 through 5. And so they have the dots right here. They also have a little pocket. So if you wanna play like, put marbles in there or put, I don't know, a set of stickers in there, you can. Or you could even play a game where you have them actually put it inside and then close it up. Or you could play hide and seek with them. You can also do patterns with the colors. So you can say, here's an orange, where's red, which one's next? And then you pull out the orange. Like I said, primary colors have the numbers 1 through 5. And then the orange, the purple, and the green are numbers 6 through 7. And the higher numbers are gonna have the buckle, the zipper, and the button. The harder ones to maneuver. Of course, this is fine motor skills right here. In and of itself, it was just worth it to have all these. Obviously, there's 3 sets because you have 3 primary colors. And so there's another game that you can play where you throw them all out and you pull one out and you say, look, I have number 3. Can you find the other 3? And so they have to open each bag and look for the other 3. So that's really working more fine motor skills. There's just so many good things about this box right here, just to name a few things. And I thought it was well worth the purchase. I love this thing. We almost do this every day. She loves it. I love the fact that they have the dots. So notice each one has a partner and you can teach odd and even if they're ready for that concept, because there's an odd one out, he's by himself, and they show that with these. Music. So Learning Without Tears uses music a lot with their program, and they do sell the CDs. However, if you go to YouTube and you type in Learning Without Tears, you will find all their songs, and those ones that you may want to have a visual with. Type the song in and I guarantee you will find a teacher on there that had put it up there for their kids during the pandemic to help them learn whatever concept they're trying to teach, just singing the song and doing the movements. So like one of our favorite ones is Pick Up a Crayon, and there's a whole song and there's like you drop the crayon and then you pick it up and then you show them how to, and there's close up on how to write. Well, there's teachers singing that song on there for you. So their CDs are all online. And check the description box below because I'm gonna link a bunch of stuff up for you guys if you're wanting to get started. And even if you're still a little bit unsure about Learning Without Tears, go and look at these things online. Go and try some of these techniques with your kids. Get a sheet of paper out, write the letter A, and then start at the top and help them doing that. Start having them build letters with Legos. Just the building, tracing, all that stuff. So like I said, I have some videos that I'm gonna go ahead and link up to this video that you can check out. Let me know, give me a thumbs up, let me know in the comments below if you have any other questions, and until then, I will see you in our next video.